Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about men and feelings. We are not complicated. We are just scared sometimes. Scared of being wrong, scared of being vulnerable, scared that our heart might get broke in the process. But when the right woman shows up with the right energy, when she carries herself with confidence and knows her worth, oh, we notice that. And suddenly, the truth we've been holding onto becomes a whole lot harder to hide. Confidence invites honesty, and that is one of the biggest truths in relationships that many women overlook. When you know who you are and what you bring to the table, you walk differently, talk differently, and love differently. A woman with confidence doesn't wait for a man to define her value. She doesn't look for validation in his words or actions. She already knows she's worth something powerful, and that energy changes everything. A man looks at a confident woman and thinks, oh, I got to get myself together, because you're not coming into his life trying to be chosen. You're coming into his life as someone who chooses. That's the difference. See, when a woman lacks confidence, she starts accepting confusion. She asks for the bare minimum. She becomes afraid of losing someone who hasn't even shown her he deserves her. And that fear keeps a man's truth locked up. He thinks, why would I reveal how I feel when she's already giving me everything without me saying a word? Men open up more when they feel like they have to earn it. Confidence sets that standard. When you respect yourself, you naturally expect respect back. You don't let a man play guessing games. With your heart, you require clarity. You require consistency. And here's the real part. Confidence doesn't mean being loud or aggressive. It means being secure, secure in silence, secure in boundaries, secure in the fact that if he can't give you what you need, someone else will gladly step up. A confident woman is not afraid of space. She's not afraid to let a man wonder about her, think about her, and miss her. She understands that she doesn't have to be available 24/7 to prove she cares. When you keep your own life full, your goals, your dreams, your friendships, your growth, he sees that you're not depending on him to breathe. And that makes a man think deeper. That makes him consider the role he wants in your life. That's when those hidden feelings start bubbling up, because he realizes you're not waiting forever. Confidence also looks like knowing when to walk away. When a man feels your energy shift, when he sees that you're not begging for closure or pleading for attention, he starts paying attention, because men don't want to lose something valuable. And a confident woman always shows herself as valuable by the standards she sets. She communicates without saying a word. If you want me, you got to show up for me. You become the kind of woman a man feels safe being real with, because your confidence creates certainty. You show him that love with you isn't built on desperation. It's built on two strong people choosing each other. And once a man sees that, once he feels that, he won't hold back his heart. He will speak. He will confess. He will reveal, because your confidence gave him the courage to stop hiding. Setting boundaries that make him realize your worth is not about being difficult or demanding. It's about teaching someone how to treat you. When you establish what is acceptable, and what is not. You are protecting your heart and your peace. A man may not always understand your boundaries at first, but he will always respect them if he's serious about you, because a woman with boundaries stands out in a world full of anything goes. She shows that love doesn't mean tolerating disrespect or confusion. Love means choosing each other with clarity and honesty. Too many women compromise themselves to keep a man interested. They say yes when they want to say no. They stay quiet when they should speak up. They let mixed signals slide because they're afraid of pushing him away. But if saying what you need pushes him away, then he wasn't planning on staying in the first place. Boundaries protect you from heartbreak disguised as hope. They allow you to see his intentions for what they truly are, not what you wish they were. A man will only rise to the expectations you set if you make excuses for him, if you accept half love or broken promises. He will keep giving you less than you deserve. But when you stand firm in your standards, being treated with respect, being valued, being prioritized, something changes. He realizes he has to show up differently. He has to invest. He has to communicate, because you are not someone he can keep around with charm alone. You require effort. Boundaries don't just teach a man how to love you, they show him how you love yourself. And the moment a man sees a woman who protects her peace, who refuses to be played with, who won't sacrifice her worth for temporary attention, he knows he has to decide, step up or step out. And trust me, when he knows you're willing to let go rather than be treated wrong, he'll think twice before staying silent about how he feels. Men aren't afraid of love. They are afraid of loving the wrong person. Boundaries let him know you're the right kind. They show him you expect truth over games. You expect consistency over excuses. You expect a plan, not possibilities. And when he sees that you won't allow a relationship built on confusion, he realizes that the only way to keep you close is to be clear about his emotions. And here's the beauty in boundaries: they reveal a man's character immediately. A good man will respect them, appreciate them, and meet you there. A man who only wanted convenience will walk away, and that's good for you, because your time is too precious to waste on someone who can't speak his heart. When he knows that losing you is the price of silence, he'll find the words, he'll make the effort, he'll finally tell you how he feels, because your boundaries made him see that you are not replaceable. You are a blessing he needs to hold on to. Creating emotional safety is one of the most powerful things you can do if you want a man to open up and finally tell you how he feels. Men have been raised to believe that emotions make them weak, that crying or confessing love makes them vulnerable to disappointment or embarrassment. So most of the time, a man keeps his deepest feelings locked away. But when he meets a woman who makes him feel safe, who shows him he won't be judged, laughed at, or taken advantage of for speaking his truth, that's when his heart starts to loosen. That's when he begins to share the things he never said to anybody. Emotional safety doesn't mean letting him do what he wants. It means creating a space where honesty is respected. When he tells you about his fears, his mistakes, or his insecurities, You don't throw those things back in his face during an argument. You don't use his vulnerability as leverage. Instead, you listen, you understand, and you let him feel human, because even the strongest man needs a place to fall apart and rebuild. And if you become that place, he will trust you with everything. See, when a woman reacts with anger or defensiveness, every time he tries to express himself, a man shuts down. He starts thinking his silence protects the relationship more than his truth ever could. But when you approach conversations with patience and maturity, you show him that communication is not dangerous, it's safe. And that safety becomes the foundation for love that lasts. Sometimes a man tests you without even knowing he's testing you. He'll reveal a small piece of his heart just to see how you treat it. If you treat that piece like something fragile and precious, he'll give you more. But if you dismiss it, joke about it, or ignore it, he'll put that wall right back up. Men are simple. If something hurts them once, they avoid that thing forever. Emotional safety is the proof you give him that love with you isn't a risk, it's a relief. Another important part of emotional safety is letting him express love in his own way. Not every man says, "I love you," right away or shows affection like a movie character. Some men show love through actions first, helping you, protecting you, remembering the small things. When you acknowledge and appreciate those efforts, he begins to feel understood, and a man who feels understood will feel comfortable enough to go deeper, open wider, and speak clearer. When you show him that his heart isn't something you're going to mishandle, he will trust you with more of it. And that's when he starts telling you what he really feels, not because you forced it out of him, not because you pressured him, but because he knows he is safe with you. Emotional safety doesn't make a man weak. It makes him brave, brave enough to love you out loud. Taking actions that spark real communication is how you move a man from silent feelings to spoken truth. You can't just hope he'll wake up one day and start pouring his heart out. Men are not wired like that. They respond to what they feel in the atmosphere. If the atmosphere around you is full of stress, pressure, and arguments about why won't you talk to me, he's going to shut down. But if the atmosphere is filled with understanding, curiosity, and connection, he'll start to open up without even realizing he's doing it. Sometimes a woman doesn't need louder words, she needs better actions. A lot of women talk about wanting communication, but they never create moments for communication to actually happen. You can't get a man to share his feelings in the middle of chaos. You got to pick the right time, the right vibe. A man will talk more when he feels relaxed, respected, and appreciated. You sit with him, you laugh with him, you show interest in his passions, his goals, his worries. Then he starts feeling like, dang, she really gets me. Once a man feels understood, that's when his heart loosens. Actions also speak louder than accusations. Instead of saying, "You never tell me how you feel," try showing him what love looks like. Small gestures matter. Encouraging him when he's doubting himself. Celebrating his wins, even if they're small. Respecting his mind and not just his muscles. When a man sees you care about who he is and not just what he gives. He begins to trust you with deeper parts of himself. That trust builds the bridge for communication. And don't underestimate the power of just being present. You don't always have to fill the silence with questions or assumptions. Sometimes the quiet moments are when a man feels safest to speak, when he sees that you're not judging every word he says or trying to correct him. He'll open his mouth and let the truth flow. Men speak when they feel heard, not when they feel forced. Another key action is pulling back on the overgiving. When you do too much, when you try too hard to prove your love, he gets comfortable with taking instead of giving. And a comfortable man doesn't feel the need to express emotions. But when you step back a little, when you show him that this relationship is a two-way street, you trigger his instinct to step up. You create space for him to move toward you instead of you always moving toward him. Real communication is sparked when he feels like he must participate in building the connection, not just enjoy it. And your actions can awaken that. When you show him you're not afraid of love, not afraid of truth, not afraid of real emotions, he will start trying to match that energy. A man who sees a woman investing the right way will want to invest back. He will start talking, he will start sharing, and eventually he will look you in your eyes and say everything you've been waiting to hear. Because your actions inspired him to finally speak his heart. Stop over giving, let him step forward. This is one of the most powerful shifts a woman can make if she wants a man to finally reveal how he feels. When you give too much too soon, when you constantly prove your love and loyalty before he's done anything to deserve it, he gets comfortable. And a comfortable man rarely feels urgency to express his emotions. He thinks she's already here. She's already acting like she's mine. Why do I need to say anything? Overgiving removes the mystery, removes the chase, removes the motivation for him to express himself. You cannot do all the heavy lifting and then wonder why he's resting. A lot of women confuse love with sacrifice. They think if they give him everything, constant attention, constant affection, constant care, then one day he'll wake up and realize how lucky he is. But most of the time, a man wakes up and realizes he didn't have to do much for a whole lot. And that's when he stops trying. Overgiving teaches a man that effort is optional, and anything that requires no effort will never be valued the way you deserve. You have to let a man earn you, earn your heart, earn your time, earn your consistency. When you pull back just enough to let him show up, you are giving him a chance to actually invest. And here's the truth. Real love is not built on one person doing everything. It is built on two people choosing each other every day. So if you're the only one choosing, planning, initiating, caring, chasing, you're not giving him room to choose you back. Men express their feelings through action first. If he wants you, he will come toward you. He will call, he will show up, he will make his feelings known one step at a time. But if you keep running ahead, he doesn't have to move. So pause, give him the chance to feel your absence just a little. Give him the opportunity to miss you. Because missing someone is what makes a man think. It makes him evaluate what you mean to him. It makes him realize that this connection isn't guaranteed. He has to protect it. And when a man realizes he could lose a woman who brings him peace, joy, love, and support, that is when he speaks up, that is when he confesses, that is when he drops the pride and opens his heart. But none of that happens if you're always 3 steps ahead, doing everything for him and asking for nothing in return. You are not supposed to build a whole relationship by yourself and then hope he starts contributing later. You deserve a partnership, not a project. Pull back just enough to see what he does. Not to punish him, not to play games, but to give him the space to rise into his role. A man who truly cares will move toward you with clarity. He will make the effort. He will communicate. And yes, he will finally tell you how he feels because you stopped overgiving and allowed him to finally show up. If he doesn't respond, you walk with dignity. This right here is the moment a lot of women struggle with because hope can be heavy and love can be blinding. You keep thinking, maybe tomorrow he'll change. Maybe one day he'll finally speak his heart. But tomorrow keeps coming and nothing changes. When a man refuses to step up, refuses to communicate, refuses to give you the clarity you've earned, that silence is your answer. And a woman who knows her worth does not beg a man to love her correctly. She stands tall, fixes her crown, and walks away with grace. See, a man can only keep you confused for as long as you stay. The moment you choose your peace over his potential, the moment you choose respect over waiting, you show him and yourself that you will not be held hostage by uncertainty. Walking away doesn't mean you didn't care. It doesn't mean you gave up too soon. It means you finally loved yourself enough to stop accepting less than you deserve. And a self-respecting woman is unforgettable. Even if he doesn't show it right away, he will remember you. He will remember that you valued yourself enough to leave what wasn't helping your heart grow. A man will either step forward or step aside. And when he steps aside, that means God, the universe, whatever you believe in, is clearing the space for someone better, someone who will not hesitate, someone who will not hide, someone who will talk to you, not confuse you, someone who will see your worth from day one. Sometimes the silence you're begging to break is actually saving you from heartbreak. Let him go if he refuses to show. That is not losing a man, that is choosing you. And the moment you walk away with dignity, you shift the story. He no longer sees you as someone who will tolerate anything just to stay. He sees strength. He sees courage. And that strength will either wake him up or free you up. Because when a man realizes the woman who always showed up for him finally stopped waiting, that's when he feels the depth of what he's lost. That's when his comfort turns into regret. And in that moment, he'll know the price he paid for silence. But your decision to walk is not about making him regret. It's about honoring your heart. You deserve a love that speaks up. You deserve a man who is not afraid to show his feelings, to claim you, to respect you, to choose you loudly. If he can't give you that, then every step you take away is a step closer to the life